Yo, imagine a place where foundational black Americans own not just businesses, but entire blocks. Banks worth millions, insurance companies, theaters, hotels, all black owned and thriving. Imagine that, huh? I ain't talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. While history books focus on Black Wall Street, the truth is, there were several across America. In Birmingham, North Carolina, that was just the beginning. The year was 1906. While most of Americans was deep in the grip of Jim Crow, Birmingham, that was different though. His was fascinating. In the time when black Americans couldn't even get through the front door of banks, Birmingham's foundational black Americans were building their own financial empires. Ones that would be worth over $1.2 billion in today's money. Let me take you on Paris Street, a 4-block radius that earned its name Black Wall Street from W.E.B. Du Bois himself. What made this place special? It wasn't just the buildings, it was the vision. Take John Merrick, for example. This man started as a barber, man, and built NC Mutual Life Insurance Company into the largest black-owned business in America at that time. By 1906, this single company was worth what would be today $35 million, man. 35 million back in the day too, man. But here's what really set Birmingham apart: the power of the community banking. Mechanics and Farmers Bank wasn't just a bank. When every other bank in town was saying no to black entrepreneurs, M&F Bank was saying, yes, come on in, we got you. They helped finance over 500 black-owned homes and businesses between 1908 and 1929. We ain't doing them numbers now. The numbers tell an incredible story. By 1910, Birmingham's black community had over 200 black-owned businesses, a black-owned bank with assets equivalent to $75 million in today's money, the nation's largest black-owned insurance company, and a higher per capita wealth than any other black-owned community in America. But perhaps the most remarkable part, Birmingham Black Wall Street created something that seemed impossible at that time: a self-sustaining black middle class. Y'all probably think we ain't even had one of those back then. In fact, a 1925 study showed Birmingham black community was building wealth faster than their counterparts in any other city in America. Birmingham's success didn't just stay confined to Paris Street though. It sparked a revolution, a black economic empowerment all across America. Everybody started balling. The Birmingham way became a blueprint that other FBA communities studied and replicated. Think of it like this: every time NC Mutual opened a new office in another city, they weren't just selling insurance, they were exporting Birmingham's model of success. They was giving everybody the blueprint. When they expanded to these cities like Richmond and Philadelphia, local entrepreneurs saw firsthand how black-owned financial institutions could transform the whole community, because they ain't never experienced having a black-owned bank that was for the community. Here's what made the Birmingham model so powerful and influential. It was something that they used to call back in the day the multi-pillar effect. Every dollar spent in Birmingham black community circulated through black-owned businesses an average of 36 times before leaving to any other community. So before it left our community, it had to go through that bad boy 36 times through our community businesses before we spent the money outside of the community. Compare that to the day where a dollar leaves the black community within an hour. It's crazy when you think about that. Cities like Richmond, Jackson Ward, and Philadelphia's 7th Ward took notice and started building their own financial ecosystems. They peeped game. Everybody started peeping game and started mimicking it. The education connection, Birmingham's Black Wall Street didn't just build wealth, it built knowledge. NC Mutual became a training ground for black business people. See, he was training the insurance company, NC Mutual. They wasn't just selling insurance, they was training people how to be entrepreneurs. These then professionals will often return to their home cities, armed with the expertise to build their own financial institutions. It was like a business school before many foundational black Americans were allowed into traditional universities. When mechanics and farms bank proved that black-owned banks could thrive, it inspired the creation of similar institutions across the country. So by 1920, we had over 50 black-owned banks that had opened up nationwide, and many of them had followed the MNF model. They followed the MNF blueprint. Richmond's Jackson Ward shows us exactly how Birmingham influence spread. Take Maggie L. Walker, the first black woman to charter a bank in America. Study Birmingham's banking model before she opened St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in Richmond. But here's what's fascinating. She didn't just copy Durham's approach, she even improved it and critiqued it. She made it better. Walker realized something powerful. While Durham focused on business loans, Richmond's black community needed both business and home ownership. They needed more than just business loans. So she created an innovative program where black residents could buy homes with just 10% down. You know, we the ones created this kind of stuff. Something unheard of at that time. You know what I'm saying? See, the dominant society is always stealing our ideas. Within 10 years, Jackson Ward had over 600 black-owned homes. See, if they could do it back then, we could do it now. Shit, look what they was doing. Then there was Atlanta. Can't forget about the ATL. They followed Birmingham's example of the insurance companies driving growth. Atlanta's life insurance company, founded by a former slave, my man Alonzo Herndon, grew from a $140 investment into a multi-million-dollar empire. Man, if they flipping back then like that legally, we could flip like that now, shit. By 1920, the Sweet Auburn district was processing over 1 million in daily business transactions. That's about $14 million in today's money. That's the kind of money they was generating when we was able to thrive off of having our black-owned banks. Philadelphia took Birmingham's lesson about education and business working together to another level. The 7th Ward District wasn't just about business, it combined black-owned financial institutions with schools and training centers. See, they understood that wealth without knowledge, it wouldn't last. But perhaps the most powerful impact was this. Birmingham proved that FBA economy's success wasn't a fluke or one-time phenomenon. We had a blueprint to this thing. When critics claim Tulsa's Black Wall Street was just lucky timing, that's false. We had a blueprint, and we were spreading this blueprint all throughout America, through all FBA communities. We was building wealth, G. See, now supporters could point to Birmingham and say, no, this is a reputable model. See, we could point to Birmingham and show them nothing was lucky about what we was doing, man. We had a blueprint, man. We was making this happen. We've done it before, and God damn it, we could do it again. In fact, by 1920, there was over 50 owned black banks nationwide, 200 black-owned insurance companies, thousands of black-owned businesses across districts, combined assets worth over $2.5 billion in today's money, man. That's how much we was worth back then, bro. This was bigger than Tulsa, Oklahoma. The blueprint these FBA business districts left us isn't just history, it's a roadmap. It's a roadmap for future success. We could mimic what they did, bro. It was possible then, it's possible now. We could just follow what they did to a T and do it all again. It's real easy. Look at what they did, right? And you'll see strategies we could use today. Birmingham's focus on financial institutions, it teaches us something critical. Control over capital is power, man. And that's what we lack, and that's why we don't have the power we used to have. We don't have control over no damn capital in this capitalistic society. Today, we're seeing a resurgence, though, of black-owned digital banks like One United and Broadway Federal Bank. But here's the game changer. While Durham's banks could only serve locally, today's digital banks mean black-owned financial institution can serve the entire country from day one, off the rip. Digital, we could, we ain't stuck in just our local area. Remember that 36-to-1 multi-pillar effect in Birmingham? In today's digital age, we could potentially create virtual business districts, you dig? Online marketplaces, you feel me? And professional networks, exclusively supporting black-owned businesses. Now imagine an app that helps dollars circulate within the FBA community the way Paris Streets once did it. Jackson Ward innovated home ownership programs. Today's blockchains and fine tech could revolutionize these models. Smart contracts could animate for fair lending practices, While crowdfunding platforms could pool community resources for property investments, But here's where it gets interesting and heartbreaking at the same time. These thriving communities just didn't fade away naturally, bro. It just didn't go away naturally. The decline tells us what to watch out for. See, they declined to let us know what to watch out for. Cause see, we can do this. We can build a digital Black Wall Street, but what hurt them is what could potentially hurt us once we rebuild and replicate what was done. The systematic destruction begun in the 1950s and 60s under the guise of urban renewal. Federal highway projects deliberately cut through these districts. In Birmingham, Highway 147 destroyed Parish Street connection to the black communities. In Richmond, Interstate 95, that shit literally split Jackson Ward in half. Banking integrations, ironically, dealt another blow. When black customers could finally bank with white institutions, many of the black-owned banks, they lost their deposits. But here's where the catch comes. While black dollars can now be deposited anywhere, loans and business capital remain largely out of reach. The final hit, insurance companies, consolidations. A larger white-owned insurance company began accepting black customers. Many black-owned insurance companies couldn't compete with their massive capital reserve. Anyway, the story of America's Black Wall Street isn't just about what we lost, it's about what's possible. These FBA pioneers built financial empires during the height of Jim Crow, without technology, without social media, without the tools we have today. They proved something powerful. Economic independence, it's not just a dream, it's achievable. We powerful as foundational black American family. If we come together, we can do anything. Birmingham, Richmond, Atlanta, these weren't just business districts. They were proof. It was proof of what we could build when we combine vision with action. If they could do it in the height of Jim Crow, we could do it right now. Our ancestors left us the blueprint. They left us the blueprint. It's there. They showed us that true wealth isn't just about individual success. It's about building institutions that's gonna lift the entire community, where all of us could lift up each other. Today, we stand at a crossroad. We have more tools, more education, and more opportunities than our ancestors could have ever imagined, bruh. Now the question isn't whether we can rebuild Black Wall Street, it's whether we have the vision and the commitment they had. Cause we could do it. They did it. We got their DNA is in us. Do we want to do it? The next chapter of this story, that's up to us to write. If you found value in this history lesson, make sure to subscribe for more untold stories of foundational Black American excellence. Leave a comment below. Share what surprised you the most about this Black Wall Street story. I love to hear what you would have to say, your thoughts. And until next time, remember this. Our history isn't just about the past, it's a guide for our future. And I'm out.